Direct proportion, example 1. If 15 oranges cost 315 pence, how much will 90 oranges cost? Now, what I like to do is to have two columns for my working, so the number of oranges and the cost. And the cost here is in pennies. So 15 oranges cost 315 pence. We want to work out how much it will cost to buy 90 oranges. Now, what we need to do then is to find out how many lots of 15 there are in 90. The best way to do that is to think 15 times 2 is 30. So there are 3 lots of 30 in 90, and that means there are 6 lots of 15. So if I multiply by 6, 6 times 15 is 90. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. So 315 times 6, 6 5s are 30, put down 0, carry 3. 6 1s are 6 and 3 is 9, and 6 3s are 18. So 1890 pence, or £18 and 90 pence for 90 oranges. A washing machine drum completes 300 revolutions in 2 minutes. How long does it take to complete 180 revolutions? Part A then. So the number of revolutions and the time. What I'm going to do is to change the time from minutes into seconds. That will make our calculation easier. So 300 revolutions, 2 minutes, 2 times 60, that's 120 seconds. 180 revolutions is what we want. So I'm going to put 180 here. This example is not quite as easy as the last one. We can't get directly from 300 to 180, so I'm going to have to find an intermediate number, a number that we can easily get from 300, which would then just as easily take us to 180. And the number that I've chosen is 60. I can easily get 60 from 300 by dividing by 5. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. 120 divided by 5. 5 into 1 doesn't go, put down 0, carry 1. 5 into 12 is 2 with 2 left over. 5 into 20 is 4, so it's 24. In 24 seconds it revolves 60 times. How do I get from 60 to 180? I multiply by 3. I must do the same to the other side. 3 times 24, 3 20s are 60, 3 4s are 12, 60 and 12 is 72. So it takes 72 seconds. Part B, let's go back to the original numbers, 300 and 120. Now we've got 5.5 minutes. 5 minutes, that's 300, 5 times 60, plus 30. So 5 minutes is 5 times 60, that's 300 plus 30 is 330 seconds then. That's a tricky number to work with. What I could do is, I think, we could maybe divide by, I think I'm just going to divide by 12. If I divide 120 by 12, I get 10. That makes it slightly awkward to work with, but we can still do it. Divide by 12 on this side. 300 divided by 12. Now, what's 300 divided by 12? Twelve into 3 doesn't go, put down 0, carry 3. 12 into 30 goes twice with 2 times 12 is 24. That leaves 6 left over. 12 into 60 goes 5 times. So the answer is 25. Maybe I could rub out the 300 over 12 just to make it a bit neater. Right, that's good. So what happens next? Well, how do I get from this 10 here to this 330? That's 5.5 minutes. What I'm going to do then is multiply by, that's nice and easy, how to get from 10 to 330, multiply by 33. What I do to one side, I must do to the other side. So I've got another calculation to do. Let me just do it down here. Three times 5 is 15, put down 5, carry 1. 3 2s are 6 and 1 is 7. Put a 0 and then do the calculation. 3 times 5 is 15, put down 5, carry 1. 3 times 2 is 6 and 1 is 7. Add, that's 5, 12, 8. So it's 825 revolutions in 5.5 minutes. Now I hope you can see that this is an example of inverse proportion. If we increase the number of people working on the experiment, we would expect the time to complete the experiment to go down. So what we're saying is that as the number of students goes up, the time to complete the experiment goes down. When one quantity goes up and the other goes down, that's an example of inverse proportion. So we've got the number of students and the time. I could maybe change that into minutes, I think. 8 students and 4 hours, 4 times 60, that's 240 minutes. Now, I want to increase the number of students from 8 to 10. You'll see I've left a gap between the 8 and the 10. What I'm going to do is to find an intermediate number. A number which we can easily get from 8, which would then allow us to get up to 10. It's quite difficult to go directly from 8 to 10, so I think I'm going to choose the number 2. How do I get from 8 to 2? I divide by 4. If I divide by 4 on one side, I must multiply by 4 on the other side. Remember, the opposite is happening. One side goes down, the other side goes up. So 240 times 4, 4 zeros are 0, 4 fours are 16, put down 6, carry 1, 4 twos are 8 and 1 is 9. So if I reduce the number of students to 2, it takes 960 minutes to complete the experiment. How do I get from this 2 here up to 10? Well, from 2 to 10 is very easy. I'm going to multiply by 5. If I multiply one side by 5, I must divide the other side by 5. So 960 divided by 5, that should be straightforward. 5 into 9 goes once with 4 left over. Let me just redo that. 960 divided by 5. 5 into 9 is 1 with 4 left over. 5 into 46, 5 nines are 45. So that's leaves one remainder. 5 into 10 goes twice. So 960 divided by 5 then is 192 minutes. That's how long it takes 10 students to do the same experiment.